Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Expert Advice from Non-Experts podcast. We're at season 3, episode 3, and you're here always with Coach Boonkie and Hoss. How you doing, Hoss? Happy Monday. We got some football, some news to talk about, and we're going to break down the AFC and NFC North this episode. How you feeling, man? Got a nice agenda today.
Yeah, man. Happy Monday. It's still the preseason. We're still just getting ready for the actual experience. Watch some preseason football this weekend. A lot of storylines, but I really don't look too deep into it right now. It's, you're watching a bunch of 3s and 4s, and really every playbook's vanilla. Nobody's throwing out the real stuff. But, a lot of overhype, too, for certain teams. I know one of the teams we're going to be going over today. I got a lot of their fans talking in my ear, chatting. Can you guess which one it is, by the way?
I don't know if I can, honestly, right now.
It's Steelers fans.
Oh, okay.
Steelers fans are very happy about beating up on the Bills.
Okay, I could definitely see that. But remember, like, we're gonna get. You're right. We are gonna get into them, but they're the masters of never going below 500, and their win-loss is right at that 500 mark, man.
Yeah, I lost money on them last year because I bet them to be last in the division, and then the Browns ruined that for me. Thanks, guys.
There's always next year, bro. And we're almost there. But I know what you mean, though, when it comes to, like, it being preseason. We're just going through the motions. We're almost there. It's a total, right now, we got 17 days until the first Thursday, first game, 20 days to the first Sunday. So we're like almost there. But like when it comes to preseason, all you want to see a little bit of your starters. You're right. They're not going to show out the playbook or anything like that. But you want to see your starters maybe just for a little bit, get some of that rust off. So like, when are the Jets busting out Aaron Rodgers? Do you think they going to? Like, we see him in Hard Knocks.
The next game they're saying he's supposed to open up with a drive. I fucking forget who it's against now. I was supposed to look that one up too. God damn it. Was it the Bucks? No, we just played it's the Giants. That's who it is.
Oh, always. That's a classic preseason game between you two.
Gonna be there, exactly. He'll get a drive. He'll see how the hell that goes, I'm sure. And I think everybody's gonna be watching that.
It's gonna be fun. It's the first time. Obviously, they're gonna get a lot more viewers just because of Hard Knocks alone. Because people are watching the Jets on Hard Knocks. It's going to make you want to see some of those players, those rookies. And honestly, they've been showing so much Aaron Rodgers on Hard Knocks. You just want to get a little piece of Aaron Rodgers against a different team for a little bit, Yeah,
and always, Jets Giants, it's always fun. And it's Aaron Rodgers' first way to see how the New York rivalry really, how deep it gets. Because Jets fans hate Giants fans hate Jets fans. Everybody wants to be the king of New York. And Daniel Jones stinks. So all Aaron Rodgers has to do is not suck. And I'm pretty sure he won't. So it's us this year. This is the preseason. Nobody cares about the game anyway, but we do play them in the regular season, and that's when we will beat the bricks out of them.
Okay. Which is always good. That's going to be exciting to see that in the regular season. Like the battle for New York played in New Jersey. So it's going to be really cool to see that, during the regular season, make that actually count, because it happens every year during the preseason. But speaking of preseason and wanting to see your starters, the Dolphins busted out some of their starters, a good chunk of them, for the game against Houston, and it didn't start pretty. I'm not gonna lie to that. I'm not lying.
I heard Tua turn the ball over, if I'm correct.
Tua did turn the ball over on the first pass of the game. It was the first play on offense. He did a rollout, and it looked like he was almost trying to do a no-look pass. But the one thing that people aren't talking about right there, they got it down to the 5-yard line, and the defense stopped them, held them to a field goal. Great to see. Then the next drive, you have it going to the Dolphins. They kept the starters out there. I think the head coach for the Dolphins, they're like, nope, Tua, you're getting another drive. We're not one play. That's not happening. We got to keep it going. And they passed a lot. They were able to run the ball. They went all the way down the field and was able to end it with a touchdown. So I was very happy with how the offense ended up showing up. But I will say, after the first drive, I know there was a lot of people, and my brothers let me hear it. Because last episode, I said the Dolphins are getting anywhere between 12 to 14 wins. And I know that's the 14, that's, ridiculous. But I say 12 to 14. I have faith in that. I know a few people started texting me immediately when that pick happened.
I was one of them. Maybe not immediately, but I sent you the video.
Oh, my brothers literally, the moment the pick happened, they were texting me saying like, 14 wins. And then I immediately sent them back a clip from Fast Five of the two brothers. And it goes, when he says, man, like, you're just so negative. Like, you come at me with all that negativity. I'm like, this is me talking to you guys all the time. And then, but they got
14
quiet.
Wins is a little crazy though.
They got quiet the next drive when we scored a touchdown. The defense stopped them. I didn't hear anyone else chirping in my ear about that. But I was
because we all turned the game over. We're like, all right, we don't even need this anymore. We got what we came here for. We wanted to see him turn the ball over.
One thing I did love to see though, honestly, was after the starters went out, when Skylar Thompson came in to play, because the last game they split with him and Mike White. This game they really mainly went with him. It didn't really play Mike White at all. I think next game the Dolphins are going to play Mike White, and really it's the battle for the number 2 spot. But I think
Mike White came in as the number 2 though. They probably just know he's injury prone and said, yeah, let's not run him out there. I don't know.
You might be right, but when it comes to this, seeing like Skylar go out there and play, he looks, compared to obviously he started a few games because of injuries last year, and he looked rough. Like he looked like a raw rookie, not really know too much, gonna just try to be that athlete, run instead of going through all the progressions. And I know it's a preseason and he was going up against some 2s, but he is a 2 to a 3 quarterback. And seeing him, he looked just very, very comfortable in the pocket. He went through his progressions, found the open man. And for someone who, since we watched him actually have to start for this team due to injuries, I like to see that adjustment because, Tua has a track record. I hope, obviously, if he stays healthy, this team is infinitely better. But I like to see our backup being comfortable in there just in case.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have... I guarantee there's going to be a point in the season where Tua and Mike White are going to be out. So I know we're going to this is not the last we're going to see of Skylar Thompson. No, I know what's going to happen. Tua ain't going to last the season. Mike White is, again, the same type of injury prone as well. I think there's going to be a game where Skylar Thompson at least gets in for a quarter. So it's good to get him involved. But either way, we just wanted to see Tua turn that ball over. Miami over here, a little super team going on.
Get it out now.
They got their tax breaks going on, trying to recruit players. I just can't get behind it.
Hey, man. Everything's better in Miami. That's all I'm saying.
I would love nothing more than to, if I was a player, if I could just go and anywhere, I probably would pick Miami. Not because you're a good team or anything like that, but you just the beach, you don't got to pay taxes. It's a great place to be if you're a player. But for anybody else who's on the outside looking in, fuck them.
You're just jealous, bro. That's all it is, man. You just got that ugly green. You don't got the teal and orange, bro.
Those are nice colors. That's about one of the only things I could say nice about the Dolphins. Other than that, any other news from the weekend we want to discuss? Well, actually, fuck the weekend. We just got news an hour ago, which was Jim Irsay giving Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade, which
it's interesting.
For my take on it, in my opinion, and I know we'll get to your casual take again of Dolphins are jumping in here. Anyway,
they are
beyond,
but
no, man, they can't afford him. He wants a new contract. You can't afford that. But
not denying that.
I digress. You got to find a team, and Austin Eckler went through the same thing, right? When they gave him permission and said people were willing to maybe come and get him, but having to come and get him for a first-round pick, and then putting a new contract on top of that, it's really tough to find an option.
It's a lot.
So unless they can negotiate like a trade offer with maybe anything, but I can't see the Colts giving up anything less than a first. So not giving up, taking anything less than a first. So if you want to compound that on top of a new contract which will have to be some type of guaranteed money, and especially if you're a low ranked team, you're probably gonna have an early pick. So that's gonna be a high value pick. I can't see a team who's competing for like a chip that would really be able to get that. But I think it means a couple things. Number one, I know a lot of people have spoken very highly of Jim Irsay. I think he's one of the more, I guess, well-respected owners in the league. But I think this really is something where he kind of put his foot in his mouth, where he was kind of talking shit about JT, saying, he's not bigger than the team, blah, blah, blah. It's really the Colts are really a homegrown organization where they don't really trade. They really build through the draft, and that's kind of always been their ideology. But I think here, this is kind of the moment where Jim Irsay said, yeah, I might have fucked up. We'll let him go, because I really think that relationship is not is really not patchable at this point. They can't. The two sides just aren't going to see eye to eye. So I think that's the first part. But again, I really think the second part is that if JT doesn't get a trade, is he still playing for the Colts, and is he still putting 100% of his effort into that team? I don't know.
I don't think so. If he doesn't get a trade, I wouldn't be shocked if it's one of those things that he doesn't come. He almost does pull like a Le'Veon Bell, but instead of doing a full season, maybe he only goes in for like a half season. This is just a couple games. And if he does, I can definitely see him. He's gonna want to put some good tape out, because he's gonna want to be off this team at the end of this year if he's not traded now. So he's still gonna want to put some film out there, but he's not going to go his full option. Like, there's no way. And I don't blame him, because it's going to be a tough thing for him to find a team, like you said, just because it is such a high ask. They're not going to ask for anything less than a first round draft pick at least. And then you're going to have to pay him north of $13 million probably, a year and everything like that. And teams, unfortunately, just don't want to pay running backs that amount, even though they deserve it. Like, Jonathan Taylor deserves to get paid. He is a very, very good running back. Saquon Barkley deserves to get paid. So I don't know really like fully what is going to happen. I definitely think a team that's going to be more towards the bottom of the barrel is going to offer the deals, just because they're going to have more of the capital to give up. Just like right now, actually, you got Zodi in the chat right now come out and said for the Cardinals, they joking saying he said they got 11 picks next year. Just use all of them for Jonathan Taylor, and they could improve a little bit right there, but that's a lower level team coming in and making up that price. But I'm okay with him not getting traded.
Shouldn't be as bad as they are, but
they shouldn't be.
Kyler Murray's situation, I mean, Injuries. It could be a building block for somebody like the Cardinals, where you get that prolific running back. You kind of coast this year. This year might be out of the cards, and that's
no
not
pun
a play on
intended.
words, by the way. Exactly. This year might be out of the cards, but either way, if you could go and you could trade a couple 2s or 3s or something, and Kyler comes back healthy, you go and you get a good wide receiver, because they're really out of that receiver market right now, and really just, build the defense a little better. You could have a good team. That division is always going to be rough, but either way, Kyler Murray's your franchise. You got something like that. I could understand. I can't see maybe like if he wants to go to a serious contender, obviously the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, those are always the first teams that really come to mind. And we just know that they don't shell out for these running backs or anything like that. There's really going to be no sake there. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation to watch, but I really, going on the fantasy football aspect of it, I'm scared to draft him. He's going to keep dropping down people's boards, and then you're just going to really be handcuffed in a position to get him. It's going to be a disgusting situation for anyone who's drafting over these next couple of weeks. I'm hoping by the time we draft on that Monday, the 4th, I'm hoping at that time we'll have a little more clarity.
Hey, man, JT, take your time, brother. Just take your time. Wait to get traded, put some film out later in the season. Play one game, man. Play one game. I'm liking the under. I'm liking the under, man. Just help me out, man. I like it.
Dude wants his JT under so bad.
That's gonna be the biggest bad beat. Like, he's gonna soar over after talking this, dude. He's gonna break all records and rush for 4,000 yards.
That would be something. All right, I think we're good to go on to our NFC AFC North breakdown.
Yeah, man, let's talk divisions.
Sounds good. So I think we'll start with the NFC North, even though we started with the NFC East last time, but it's really the less interesting division, I would say, all around. Even though it's very interesting probably to some people, that like cheese and stuff like that, sure. I do fuck with cheese, but I don't wear it on my head.
How do you not like cheese, bro?
I met somebody who doesn't like cheese, and it just baffles my mind. It's actually a infraction against society.
That's when you shake their hand and then just be like, "Wait, this ain't gonna work out. This friendship ain't working.
Get out of my house." I am going to kind of start this off with, we have the Lions, the Packers, the Bears, the Vikings. And I think that's kind of the order I'm going to lean in right now. So when we are talking about the Lions, that's obviously the most hyped team, I would say, in the current NFL. I know the Jets are a close second, but I think there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of Lions hype. They got them winning the division in Vegas, which is pretty incredible. 9.5 wins over under. Second is the Vikings at 8.5, and then the Packers Bears are tied at 7.5. Last year's win totals, obviously, Bears lost the division with 3 wins. Then it was Packers at 8 with Aaron Rodgers, Lions with 9, and Vikings with 13 wins. The Lions are the most exciting team in this division, and I think that kind of goes without saying. Divisionally, though, I guess I see them still splitting with all 3 teams. I don't really see them taking a commanding lead kind of over anybody else. Do you see it that way, or? The
only team I see them potentially going the 2-0 against is the Packers. I think the Bears made enough additions to the team that they're going to be a lot better this year. And I feel like the Packers didn't make that many moves this offseason with their draft and everything like that.
So are you saying the Packers are last in the division?
I say the Packers are going to be last in the division.
Okay. Now, how do you think the division shakes out? So top to bottom.
Top to bottom, I think I'm going to go... I'm going to go Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
I'm still taking the Vikings first. I think they still win this division. And then I'm going to go Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears. I still think the Packers are last in the division. I think it's very fun to watch Justin Fields and really believe in him. But there's things I'm seeing, like his MVP numbers and his, overs being taken on everything. It's just, I don't think they've made that much of a significant improvement. And I would just have to see Justin Fields really take that next step. And when it really comes down to is, we watched the preseason game, right? Went 3 for 180 yards on 2 screens. Like, that's just really not going to happen. So, and the Bears defense is also putrid, by the way. I don't really, I know it's very fun to hype up Justin Fields, and I think he's a very good quarterback. And for fantasy, I think he's an amazing quarterback. Mm-hmm. Do I think the team is going to beat out the Packers? No, not yet. That being said, so in division, let's start there with the Lions. So we're saying they split with the Vikings 1-1.
Mm-hmm. I say split with the Bears.
You say split with the Bears.
Yes.
Do you really think they 2-0 these Packers?
I think they do. I really have no trust or faith in Jordan Love. I really don't.
All right, I'll put 4-2 on the docket for the Lions then in division.
Okay.
So then the Packers, how are we leaning in that way? If they're 0-2 against the Lions, I could see them 0-2 against the Vikings, but I could see them 2-0 in the Bears. I don't know if, I don't know if the Bears are really. Maybe the Bears could split one with the Lions. I could see that just as a whole other kind of different team ideology. But I think the Packers without Aaron Rodgers, we're still beating the Bears no matter what.
See, I don't think so. I think Justin Fields in that offense, I think, is going to be it's going to be very fast paced, and I think it's going to be good enough that it's going to outscore the Packers. I don't think the Packers are going to be able to keep up with Justin Fields and DJ Moore. So I can see but I can still see them. I think the Bears are a better team than the Packers. That was my point. But I see them maybe splitting with the Packers. And then I do see them going 0-2 to the Lions and 0-2 to the Vikings.
Yeah, I would say that they're definitely going 0-2 to the Vikings. I'll give them 0-2 to the Lions too. I'll split it. I'll say 1-5 in division, sure. Bears, kind of the same thing, I guess. We'll see them split 1-1 with the Lions. They're going 0-2 to the Vikings no matter what. So we're saying 2-4 in division.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we're saying 3-3 because they actually you're saying 2 of the Packers. So 3-3 on the Bears in division. And lastly, that will mean the Vikings 2-0 the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings 1-1 with the Lions.
I like that.
And then we're saying 1-1 with the Bears, or no? We're saying 0-2 the Bears, right?
Yeah.
So 4-2 on the Vikings, and that'll be 2-4 for the Bears
in
division.
There we go.
All right, which I think all makes sense. I don't really. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree. I think the Packers will beat the Bears one, and they could split, whatever the case is. The Lions, I just think, are a little overhyped right now. I still put the division in the Vikings' hands. So let's run through these games.
Yeah,
let's see what happens here. And if there's any players you want to highlight along the way, please be my guest. Obviously, with the Lions, it's always going to be Amon-Ra. That's going to be where we lean with everything. I know we were talking about Gibbs a little earlier in the mock draft, really where we're taking him. But I know me and you are both leaning Montgomery anyway.
Dave Montgomery, yeah, I was supposed to say David Montgomery is for sure a running back that I'm targeting in late rounds because I think he is going to be a touchdown magnet, like a machine this year when he gets in that red zone. And for his price, I think he's a very, very good pickup. So I'm definitely targeting him in all of my drafts.
Yeah, I don't blame you there, especially for his price tag. It's really not costing you a lot.
Exactly.
So it's a nice little thing to pick up at the end of a draft, especially if Gibbs doesn't turn out the way it is and Montgomery overtakes the backfield. It's
exactly. And Montgomery's going two almost 3 rounds after Gibbs. Like that value is just incredible.
So first game, Lions at Chiefs. We're going to put the L in the Lions column.
Yep, yeah. That's a loss.
So big L. Now the Seahawks. They're hosting the Seahawks. Where do you lean in that right?
I'm going to lean towards the Lions at home against the Seahawks.
Okay. We'll give them a fat W there then. Then we have the Falcons.
You know what? Swap that. I'm going to do L against Seahawks, but I'm going to do W against the Falcons.
Okay. I'm
going to swap that.
Well, by the way, I like the Seahawks team a lot. I think with the 3 real wide receivers now, Geno just really game managing it, 2 good running backs, Pete Carroll throwing dimes at practice.
Whatever it takes, he can lace up. He can lace up with that. Dude, you imagine him going to try to call a play chewing that gum with the chin strap?
Man, there's a reason he didn't have a helmet on in that video we saw.
Yeah, dude, the chin strap's too limited. He can't get the full degree bite and chomp,
All right, so we got the win against the Falcons, then they have the Panthers.
That's a win.
I will put another W there.
That's a win against the Bucks.
I'll give them a win. I will say they lose to the Ravens.
I'll say lose to the Ravens.
Cool. Raiders, I would say they win against the Raiders.
I like that. That's a win.
And I like them, I would say, losing at the Chargers.
I think that's going to be one of those like toss-up games. Is going to be closer than they think. I think a lot of the money when it gets close to that week is going to be like on the Chargers, just off early on, you know. But I'm leaning towards Chargers. Like I'm going to lean that way too.
Yeah. At Saints. What about this one?
I mean, that's Jay Willie's revenge tour. That's his revenge game right there. But I think the Lions win this game, but he's going to run hard against that team.
I'm going to put a W against this next team. Are you ready for it?
Let's ride.
I'm ready. I made sure I saved the soundboard this time, bro. I prepped.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do see the Lions beating the Broncos there, but again, later in the year, I don't think the Broncos are going to be anywhere near as bad as last year. Just a little side note on that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's check I don't know if we could check our last one that we did. I didn't break it out, sadly. I'd love to know if we said the Cowboys beat the Lions or they lost to them. I think we said the Cowboys beat them, though.
I was going to say I'd put an L here for for the Lions against the Cowboys.
I agree. So we got 4-2 in division. Then we have 6 more wins. So we're giving them 10-7. Does that sound accurate?
10-7, and
Yep,
the over/under is 9.5. Vegas, how do you know, man?
So we're taking the over then. I mean, that's what we're doing.
I mean, realistically, yes. And when it comes to that point, you take that over.
Some of these games could go either. I want to look at the Vikings next to make sure.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
To see if I'm comfortable with that over, all right?
Yeah,
we have them 4-2 in division.
Yep.
Right? Then we have them hosting the Bucks. That's a W for the Vikings.
That's a win.
At Eagles, we called this an L already.
Yep.
Chargers. I have the Lions losing to the Chargers.
Can the Vikings?
I think I would have the Vikings beating the Chargers, but let me check one thing.
What time is it at?
Yeah, exactly. When is this game? It's a 1:00 game. Give me the Vikings on a W. Nice, we got the soundbite going.
I figure we got the North. We were talking about the Vikings. I had to throw it up.
Yeah, 100%. So I would say a W over the Chargers there. I think that's a mismatch for the Chargers.
All right, let's play it out.
Vikings have a good run game. Vikings got Jay Jeff, of course. I think the Chargers are going to be good. I would lean the Vikings in that matchup. At Panthers, that's another W.
That's a W.
Chiefs is an L. 49ers is an L. At Falcons, I'm putting a W.
That's a W.
Saints W. Broncos W.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Raiders W. Bengals L. Do you agree with my assertion there?
I can't say no to those. Like the only one maybe, like I said, is the Chargers. But like I said, I would lean towards the Vikings way in that game.
And I have that ending 11-6. So I would have the Vikings leading that division. So, I mean, I feel way better about that 8.5 over for the Vikings than the 9.5 for the Lions. I'll tell you that.
You do. And so what realistically, let's going through that, because you said, DraftKings has it that the Lions are winning that division. What realistically, what games do you think that the Lions have that we gave an L that you would think they would swap it? Would it be the Chargers? Are they saying the Chargers and maybe the Seahawks? Are they saying those would be wins?
Well,
you
got to understand, I think actually the Vikings schedule is tougher because they have to play the Eagles and they both play the Chiefs. The Eagles and the Niners is who the Vikings have to play. And we gave them both L's there.
Yeah.
So really what it comes down to is we have are the Lions playing the Bengals too? No, they're not. So those are actually really three tough games by those Vikings. So we're seeing the W's coming in: Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Raiders. I mean, I would feel very comfortable betting those ones. We're saying 4 wins in division. Then it's Panthers, Bucks. That's kind of a pretty putrid schedule right there. Like, the other ones are just flat out losses, I think. But when we're talking about the Lions, the losses are coming from Cowboys, Chargers, Ravens, Seahawks, Chiefs. It's really one of those situations, I think, that it's the quality of the Vikings that we're gonna put them kind of over the edge and say that they'll get one more game. It's not it's really a hard thing looking at it, but I would lean still Vikings 4-2 in division, Lion 4-2 in division. By the way, I feel better about Vikings being 4-2 in division. I would really put Lions around 3-3.
Okay.
I think that really is the ship that they sail. But overall, I think the Vikings they have a lot of tough matchups, but then they have a lot of really low bottom feeder matchups that they're just going to beat up on.
That's true. And if you think about it too, realistically, then if you have them more going 3-3 in the division, then you have them going 9-8. Their over/unders 9.5. So you're right at that 9. I'm at that 10. So that's really realistically, if we're doing this based off where we're going to put our money on, like, our advice would be don't touch the Lions over. Like, really that bet at all.
Yeah.
They don't even touch it.
Yeah. I wouldn't go near it, honestly, at this point. Like I said, I think they're overhyped. Going into this year, I think everyone's really happy with them. But we also saw Jared Goff. He just throws games because he feels like it sometimes.
That's true, too.
At least Kirk throws games because he's in prime time.
That is true.
But
That is true. We have a reason.
Yeah, the games he's in prime time are the Eagles and the Niners. So he was losing those games anyway.
So he lucked out.
It didn't actually matter. Exactly.
Okay.
We already chopped those games.
So he threw in an extra, $20 to the person who wrote the season script.
Exactly.
And that's what he
did.
Got it. Okay.
He said, "Listen, we're not beating them anyway. Just put them right in prime time. I'll suck, I promise."
Please fold it up the $20 bill.
There's one prime time game that we're missing though. That we could turn into an L if you want, and it's against the Broncos.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Are we riding? Man, dude, I can't. I know it's prime time. I know it's prime time, but all season, dude, every game we were like, oh, we're not riding with the Broncos. Then we ride with the Broncos. It always hurt. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna play. I got the nice skull horn. I'm gonna do that before anything else. Before following riding with Russ in that game.
Sounds good. We'll move on to the Bears. We got them going 2-4 in division. We'll keep them next. First, they start off at Bucks. I don't know what team you could give me right now that I'll pick the Bucks over them.
Yeah,
but the Bears are damn close. I think I might lean Bucks. But they have Baker Mayfield, so it makes it so damn rough.
I'm leaning towards the Bears on this one. I know the Bucs still have a solid defense and everything like that. I just think that Justin Fields is gonna just tire them out with his legs, and then he's gonna be able to just have that pass to DJ or to hand it off to Herbert right there. So I'm leaning more towards the Bears against the Bucs.
Right, W for the Bears at Chiefs.
That's an L.
Fat L. Now we have the Broncos.
Let's ride.
I think I'll ride the Broncos here.
I'm riding the Broncos here. I really am. I think here is where I'm going to stop disrespecting Russ Wilson, the Broncos. Hopefully Javante's back doing his thing. Still got Cortland Sutton. Still got Jerry Jeudy. Still got a good defense. We can't completely discount the Broncos based on last year. You got to imagine.
That's true.
That Russ is going to play better football, right?
Yeah, we have to imagine that he couldn't have had that much of a drop off from this last season Seattle to Denver and that be consistent. You know what I mean? Like you can become bad, within a few years before you think about retiring, but that was in another level last season.
You got Sean Payton as the head coach, even though he's a fucking bastard for what he was saying about the Jets, It's all good. Hey, listen, I'm not here to defend Nathaniel Hackett and what he did last year either. But hey, Payton, you over here doing bounty gate and shit like that, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, your record ain't really amazing either, You should have had way more Super Bowls than you really did with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, some of the best teams we've seen. Sean Payton, don't be talking about the Jets like that, all right? That's all I'm saying.
He's saying don't poke the bear.
Yeah, but we will allow them to beat the Bears currently. So we'll give the Bears an L to the Broncos. Commanders. Where do we draw the line on the Commanders? Because I don't remember what we said on the last show.
We didn't.
We're gonna have to. We didn't do the Commanders. You're damn right, because we didn't do the last team of the division, which I actually thought could have still been the Giants. So maybe the Giants just got the buff because I had to do the Giants out of obligation to really lay out how shitty they are. But I low-key would say I think the Commanders will win this game.
Oh, man. Like, you got to sell me on that, because I think the Bears would win this.
All right. Let me try to. It's hard to sell this one, but it's hard to sell it either way. I mean, we can talk about Justin Fields, but then you get into DJ Moore. It's like, all right, I guess, but Terry McLaurin, still a great receiver for the Commanders. They still got a great defense, 2 good running backs. Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson. We can't really sleep on them. The Commanders knocked off some big teams last year, and I just think they're not as big of pushovers as they really like. If we're looking at the Commanders as a total, I would put them as the same power as the Giants. Like, I would put them side by side. So would you think the Giants beat the Bears?
Would I think the Giants beat the Bears? Ooh.
Yeah.
I think... Ooh, that's real tough. I think the Giants could beat the Bears. Yeah.
So then I don't see a reason why we say the Commanders can't beat the Bears. That would be my way of looking at it.
Let's ride with you to see how it looks. Let's ride with your L.
All right, L on the Commanders. Raiders. It's really hard for me to bet the Raiders right now.
I think they beat the Raiders regardless. I think.
Yeah, it's hard to believe Devontae Adams isn't gonna win games.
Exactly. I just don't know what's going on with Jimmy G. And if Jimmy G plays, I've been a big person to defend him and everything like that, like throughout his career when everyone said he was real bad. I get it. So I'm a little biased. If Jimmy Garoppolo plays and stays healthy, like Devontae Adams is going to produce. I just don't know if he is going to do that. Like if he's going to play. That's the thing.
I don't know what's going on with Josh Jacobs. He's the biggest outlier, really, that I have with that team. They lost Darren Waller, who is obviously one of their best offensive weapons in the past 3 years. So I'm going to lean the W with the Bears. Chargers, I'm going to say they lose against the Chargers.
That's fair.
I will say they L against the Saints. I will say win against the Panthers.
Okay.
Lose against the Browns. Win against the Cardinals. Win against the Falcons. Anything you want to fight with me on there?
No, I really don't think so. The only real one I was thinking, like, I'm okay leaving it as an L, but I think the Saints is a toss-up matchup. I do think. But I'm okay leaving that as an L right there.
Okay. So by that definition, we have 7-11 on the Bears.
Maybe 7
and 10. Come on. If I didn't screw something up. So I got 7 and 10 on the Bears. Which is a major improvement from last year, by the way.
4 extra games. They only won 3 last year. That's a huge, improvement for them as if you're a Bear fan.
And we have a couple of games like I said that could go both ways. Yeah. We're riding with the Broncos here.
Hell yeah. Always.
Packers 1-5 in division is what we got going on here.
Yes.
There's
no way we're going to say this team, this division sweeps the Falcons, are we?
I really do think they do. I mean,
I love the pause.
How could I bet the Falcons? I can't.
For the audio listeners
what
for
do
tomorrow.
They have? What do they have?
For the audio listeners that are going to hear this tomorrow, I wish you all just saw Hoss's face on there when I asked that question with the pause. Oh my God, dude. It just looked like dead air. I don't know,
the
man.
Falcons stink. They stink. What do we got? What is? Stop it with the Bijan Robinson hype. Who cares? It's who's the quarterback? Who's it?
Is it still
What's his name again?
Is it still they're not rocking with Mariota anymore, are they?
Not Mariota. They got the rookie. I thought.
What does it tell you? We don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it tells us that we're bad at this, honestly.
It's the first time we're doing this in the preseason.
Is it Desmond Ridder? It is not Desmond Ridder, is it?
Is it? Where's my coworker? I have my coworker's a Falcon fan.
Maybe this might still be a question. It might still be up in the air. Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, Logan Woodside.
It's definitely definitely.
And we're sitting here drafting Bijan Robinson 7 overall right now. You know, I mean, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? I don't have a reason to believe that the Falcons offense is going to do anything. I mean, anything. Let's see. Atlanta box score in this last game. What even happened?
Tell me.
Taylor Heineke went 13 for 21. Listen, I like Taylor Heineke. It looks like he had the most play time, too. Desmond Ridder went 7 for 9. Logan Woodside 4 for 6. I don't know who started the game. Bijan only got 4 carries. I guess he's high. And Algier only got 1, by the way.
A little scary to see that.
A couple things going on here. I don't know. Taylor Heineke played the majority of the game. He's probably the number 2. Desmond Ridder's the 1. Ridder is the rookie. Correct?
He is the rookie.
2022 third-round pick.
What?
So, no, it's not a rookie. He was last year.
Last year he was. Last year he was the rookie, yeah. But, like, who do the Packers have?
I mean, bro, it's still Jordan.
Where's that pause? Where's that pause?
He sat behind Aaron Rodgers for X amount of years. I don't even think the kid has to have the quarterback. Aaron Jones should just win the game by himself.
All right.
You know, we still are looking at a team that, honestly, young and up and coming, wide receiver core with Christian Watkins, Romeo Dubs was still there. Romeo Dubs. You know, the GOAT right there. No, the Packers are Wing the Falcons easy. I'm not here to throw away the Packers. Saints, I don't know. You want an L on the Saints?
Give them an L on the Saints.
I'll negotiate with you there. I'm Wing the Raiders. We're sweeping the Raiders too. I don't see you fighting for the.
That's right.
Sorry, I got too happy when it comes to the Broncos.
I see you got the trigger finger going on.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that. After the Broncos and or towards the ending, because like I don't know, like do the Raiders go 0-4 against the North?
I don't know. I don't have any real confidence in I feel like they got worse at quarterback, and they might not have their star running back. I'm not. And they don't have Darren Waller.
All right. I'm good with that.
I think it's a cesspool over there right now. I still want to go to the Death Star, though.
Oh, I absolutely want to go to the Death Star. We'll get there one day.
Packers W and the Broncos here.
I disagree.
Are you riding?
I'm riding Denver.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
I'm riding Denver on that.
WL there. I'm not negotiating on
I like that
one. I would take the Packers over the Broncos there. Taking the Packers over the Rams, I think.
even if the Rams are healthy. If you have Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
I'm gonna take a L to the Rams because it's really that connotation of last year that be fucking with my mental, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It really is rough.
No, absolutely.
At Steelers. Now this is gonna be important. We're going down to the Steelers a little later. We going Packers or we going Steelers?
At Steelers, I'm going Steelers, especially if they open up like last year, not playing that great. They don't have below 500 seasons. So if it's late at Steelers, I'm going Pittsburgh.
Okay, we'll give an L at the Steelers. Chargers. I'll give them an L at the Chargers. Chiefs is an L.
I think Giants are an L, man.
Give them an L against the Giants.
I think we did. If we didn't, we can change that because I think that's an L.
All right.
The Packers don't have
over
one.
Bucks.
I'll say that.
W over Panthers.
That's fair.
Rough schedule right now. Rough schedule. All right. So by our accord, community, we are saying, because I'm going to give them the half here.
Okay.
We're saying 5.5 technically at the Broncos level. 5.5 wins. Now, me personally, where I would lean here, I would have them going 2-4 in division, losing both games to the Vikings, going 1-1 with the Lions, 1-1 with the Bears. I'd have them going 2-4 in division, beating the Falcons, beating the Raiders, beating the Broncos, beating the Bucks, beating the Panthers. So I would have them at 7-10.
You would have.
That's exactly where I would have them. Yep, tied with the Bears at 7-10.
I just think that's just too much. It's just because we don't know anything about Jordan Love. We really don't. Preseason, he shows that he can play. Like, obviously, he's going to start for that team. He's a player, but we just don't know anything. Aaron Jones can't carry that team. The receivers, they were dropping passes by Aaron Rodgers. They're gonna drop passes by Jordan Love. Like, I'm just not high up on the Packers at all this year.
Well, I don't think 7-10's high up.
I think 7's too much. I truly think 7's too much.
You have 1-5. Yeah, 1, 2. No, you have 4.
I have 4 wins.
Yeah, you have them at 4 and 13.
What? No, I have.
You have their wins. Yeah, maybe you're right. It is 5. Yeah. Falcons, Raiders, Bucks, Panthers. Yeah, you have them at 5 and 12. That is just hard to believe about a Packers team. Does LaFleur get fired if that happens?
I think he does. Man, because that'd probably be one of the worst seasons in a long time.
I think he should be fired already.
Oh, that's true too.
I know.
I'm not targeting anyone.
The way that I see it, I have the Vikings winning the division. We both have it, actually. Vikings, then Lions. We would take the Vikings over. You would take the Packers under by a long shot.
Yes.
I wouldn't touch the Packers and the Bears. They're 7.5. I have them both at 7 and 10. But you should definitely take the Packers on the under if that's what you believe on them, because 5 is 2.5 back. You should profit on that one. I just can't see them being horrible. Yeah. Got a point there. All right, NFC North in the books. We will go to the AFC North now. We are looking
fun division.
Yeah, we're looking at a very, very fun division that I'm going to have some stances on myself. Ravens, Bengals tied for first, both at 10.5 wins. Then we have the Browns at 9.5, Steelers at 8.5. Now, I lost money last year because the Steelers should have went last in the division, but Deshaun Watson came back and shit all over the place.
Looks like he didn't know what football was.
Leg. Yeah, it was rough. That being said, I actually believe the Browns could win this division. Now, obviously, they're only 1 game back. They are only 1 game back per this whole kind of Vegas standards. And the Steelers are only 2 games back. But I think it's very likely going into this right now. The way that I'm leaning is I will lean Bengals, Browns, Ravens tied, and Steelers at least 2 to 3 games back.
It was a 2 to 3. See, I understand what you mean, because like on paper, if you look at this, the Steelers are the weaker team. Just like offensively, defensive, they're always going to have a solid defense. You know, they have a great front four, and you have T.J. Watt, who's just an animal, and then you have Minkah Fitzpatrick, one of the best safeties there. So, but like so besides the defense, like no disrespect to them, on paper they're the worst team in this division. But it's so tough to bet on them to pretty much not to do well, just because, again, I know I said it earlier, they don't know how to go 500, below 500. I definitely agree with you.
Mike Tomlin. I do love me some Mike Tomlin.
Hey, he's a great coach.
But I don't think he could keep fighting through the odds. It's getting a little too rough for him.
His team is not good enough to beat the Bengals or the Ravens. Like, that's just it. Like, straight up.
This division is, when we talked about the AFC East being the best division in football, I mean, this is a neck and neck close tie.
Yeah.
But the reason why I would say the Jets are, not the Jets, but the AFC East in general, is because the Jets and the Dolphins, I think, are better than the Ravens and the Browns. The Bengals, I would say, is the best team out of all the divisions. If I was to rank every single one of them, it would be Bengals, Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Patriots. Right?
Yeah,
So
I think that's fair.
They're pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And you know me, I'm a big fan of Joe Cool, so I'm definitely going to say that the Bengals are the best team in those two divisions by far.
Divisional. How are we seeing how this shapes out?
Bengals,
I think, are going to 2-0 the Steelers. Ravens and Browns, I think they're going to go 1-1.
I think they're going to go 1-1 with the Ravens and Steelers and 2-0 the Browns.
The Bengals are not 2-0ing the Browns.
The reason why I don't think the Bengals... I
will not negotiate on that one. The Bengals will not 2-0 the Browns.
I think they will, because I believe that more than them 2-0ing the Steelers, because Joe Burrow, for whatever reason, never plays well at Pittsburgh. They always get him there. And it doesn't make any sense. Just in general, that team just lays an egg.
I'm willing to say they go 3-3 across the board. I'm willing to say that part. But the Browns do not lose to any of these teams twice. I mean, we've seen the Browns for years, just with Baker, Jarvis, and Chubb, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, think about the defense with Myles Garrett, right? It's a powerhouse team. I could see the Browns leading this division personally, but it's always been one of those things where these teams, the Browns were the whipping boy for a while. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, but they just play each other well, and they just, they'll pick up a win in the other person's territory. The other person will come back, and fight them back in their own territory, throwing beer everywhere. Everyone's getting shit thrown at them. These teams actually hate each other, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's always a chippy game. It's always tough in division. And even you go and you watch the Bengals, right? Joe Burrow goes and he lights it up. It's kind of the same thing with Josh Allen. We all watch Joe Burrow go and have amazing games left and right. And then he goes to, Pittsburgh and lays an egg and throws 4 picks. I get it. But that being said, I don't think the Steelers are good enough to overcome the Bengals this year. Now, do the Bengals open up and have Joe Burrow week 1 is really the question, too.
That is the question.
I don't necessarily know how that works.
It is to my understanding, it is looking that way. But
yeah, I'm leaning that way too.
This division in general is going to be a tough one. But if you think about it, though, even though the teams might be different, you and I, at least for the Bengals, have the same divisional record. You said they just 0-2 the Steelers. I said they 0-2 the Browns. So if you think about it, these are divisional numbers. Like, we have the same, because I have them splitting the Ravens. I have them splitting the Steelers, 0-2ing the Browns, and you just literally the exact same thing. So at least we're on the same aspect that way. Just the teams might be different.
So we're saying 4-2, 3-3. But then that's when it gets issue with the Browns and the Steelers numbers. Because I would have the Browns 3-3. You would have, and I would have the Steelers 2-4. You would have the Steelers 3-3, and I would have and you would have the Browns 2-4.
Okay.
So that's the only issue where we would get a little disconnect.
Okay.
So we'll leave that out there,
Yeah.
And I'll lay that out there at the bottom here just so we know exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
But I don't believe the Steelers can go over the top of anybody. You know what I mean? I think they are by far the worst in the division. And I personally would have the Ravens 2-0 and the Browns 2-0, but I just know that's not likely. It's just really going to get a chippy divisional matchup. So I'll give them the 1-1.
Okay.
But if they weren't in division or anything like that, and I just looked at this as a one-off game, or say they like played and they met again in the playoffs, like they would just be a 2-0 to me. It's only just because these teams know each other so well that I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Completely understand that.
We'll start at the Bengals, Rams,
That's a win.
Titans.
I think that's a win.
Are we forgetting, like, the Bengals are a good team, but the Titans were really like a team, maybe not last year, I get it, but that kept teams like the Bengals and the Chiefs in check. You know, I'm not willing to throw the Titans away, for sure. But I just know that with Derrick Henry, with Vrabel as the coach, they like to slow down the games and they like to really take their time and be methodical in them. It's hard for me. I will give the W to the Bengals, but I'm very curious to see how I'm going to rank the Titans a little later on.
Yeah, I agree because you can't count out Derrick Henry, because I've been kind of like, when I'm seeing like the Titans up on a roster for a lot of teams like the Bengals and everything, I'm like, yeah, the Bengals win that for sure. But you're right. Just a few years ago, the Titans were the best team in the division. Or the best team in the conference. They're the first overall seed, and they had Ryan Tannehill throwing it to AJ Brown and handing off to Derrick Henry. Granted, AJ Brown is a great receiver, and
got D-Hop now.
You do, but AJ Brown now to D-Hop now is like, you want AJ over the at that point. But I get it. D-Hop is great.
AJ was also chronically injured too, so
that is true. That is true. But you're right. So I see your point. All
I'm saying is we'll really have to look into the Titans a little later. I'm not out on the Titans, and they're probably, I'm going to put them maybe over a couple other teams because we're going to have them in all four games.
Yeah.
So Cardinals W, Seahawks W. 49ers. I'll put an L on there.
I think I'm okay putting an L on there, even though I know it's Brock Purdy, but that defense is so good, and and the 49ers offense still moved the ball very well with Brock Purdy. I'm okay with that being an L.
When we talked the Bills, did we give it to the Bengals? I think we did.
I think we gave it to the Bengals because we only had
a lot of Bills hate coming out here. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, they won the last few times they needed.
I think the Bengals just have their number.
Absolutely.
W to the Texans.
Yep.
W to the Jags. W to the Colts. Vikings, we gave them the L against the Bengals. Chiefs, I'll give the Bengals the L to the Chiefs.
I'm okay with that because I can't see that many W's. That's wild.
It's a lot of W's we're looking at. I'm not gonna lie, but they do have to fight the NFC South, which just stinks. Besides the Texans, again, I'm still up on these Texans, but we could also see if they're early in the year, no Joe Burrow, the Titans could pick up that W there. So it depends. Again, Joe Burrow's health, we got to really keep an eye on it. But right now, you and I are sitting here at 13-4,
which isn't that outrageous because last year they had 12, and it looks like they're playing even an easier schedule this year.
Yeah, this schedule is a cakewalk. I mean, this is what inflated the NFC East last year's playing the Texans, the Colts.
Exactly.
It's really inflates your win totals a lot. So, and the Bengals are a very good team. So nothing we could say negative against them.
No.
Ravens, we got them 3-3. W over the Texans. W over the Colts. I'm gonna say they lose to the Titans here.
This is where I'm. It's tough because Yeah, if you have a healthy Lamar and now he has weapons and everything like that, that offense is going to be just so unbelievably fast. But the Titans, I think the Titans can slow this down enough with Derrick Henry that can just that can make Lamar be his worst enemy. This would be a win-loss sort of thing for me. Like, I can see this. I can really see this go both ways. It's at Tennessee. I'll let's see how it goes with you put the Titans as a loss. Sorry, a loss for the Ravens. See how this looks out.
Hold on, just quick update. Little Tom Pelissero. He's saying the Colts would want more to part with Jonathan Taylor than the Panthers traded for McCaffrey. So it's going to be really tough to find a trade partner. Just so you know, that trade was the Panthers got 4 draft picks for McCaffrey. So they're saying the hope is for a first rounder, but multiple 2s and some picks in the back end could also sign the deal. Does a team do that for Jonathan Taylor? I don't know. But either way, we're still putting everybody beating the piss out of the Colts anyway. So I don't think it really matters.
Very true.
As long as for this discussion. So
love the breaking news too, by the way. Loved it.
Yeah, it just popped up and I figured we talked about it, so we'll give a little update.
I love that.
I'm gonna give the L here. Give the L to the Titans.
What do we do? Lions.
As you may.
Lions. We gave them I think we put an L on the Lions earlier.
Yep. So Ravens are a dub to the Lions. They're a dub to the Cardinals. They're a dub to the Seahawks. Are we fucking with the Seahawks too bad, man?
Oh man, it's just because it's Geno. Even though Geno had a good year last year, but we've seen what he's like. Is he gonna have another good year, or is he gonna go back to the Geno we know? That's the only reason why.
You have Metcalf. You still have Lockett. You have... Can't remember the rookie's name.
You also have Kenneth Walker. You know what I mean? Who exploded last year.
Charbonnet's there. You still have your defense, which is pretty good. I would say the Ravens beat them. I feel like the Ravens have a little bit of an outclass with OBJ, especially coming up there. I think he's good for a couple balls, in key situations. I don't think he's going to, wow you by any means. But I'll lean the Ravens. The Chargers...
This is starting getting tough, man. Because I'm leaning Chargers, but
I'm leaning Ravens because the Chargers are terrible against the run. They're bad against the run, but
they really are.
The Ravens could be bad against the pass, especially since Marlon Humphrey, out.
Exactly. With him being out there now. And they have one of the best passing games out there.
Changes that Ravens defense a lot.
It does. It really does. And that's when it's scary when it comes to this aspect of it. I am leaning towards the Chargers more just because of that passing offense.
I'll give an L to the Ravens then. Why not? Little W over the Rams, little W over the Jags. L to the Niners and L to the Finns, right?
Whoa.
What? You're the one that said the Finns beat them, so I'm just going off of what you said.
Oh, you're right. It's the way you said it. I heard the opposite in my head.
I'll go to the Browns right now, and I'll put an L against the Jets.
No, that's fair.
Or did I give the Jets the loss against the Browns?
No, you definitely had the Jets beating them.
I had to have. All right.
How are we looking for the Ravens?
Now, Ravens 3-3. 1, 2. What do we have that? 12 and 5. 12 and 5.
No. What is your count?
Dude, I have to be
10.
Yeah, why did I say 12? I must have highlighted something twice. Yeah, that's 10 and 7. Sorry to the fucking people listening. Holy hell. This isn't Excel, this is Google Sheets. And I hate me some Google
Sheets.
This is going to be like a running joke now that I just can't do math, especially when my job's math, which is the worst part.
Absolutely. That's what makes this even more funny.
10-7 on the Ravens. Over under, we got them at 10.5.
I ain't touching it now,
We're
man.
pretty much right on the nose. Yeah, I'm not touching. If anything, I'd lean the under on the Ravens. I would lean the under. And it's just a commanding lead by the Bengals in the division. Now, I have the Browns 3-3. You have them 2-4, but let's see how this all shakes out, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Browns beat the Titans. Now, I know I have the Ravens losing to them, but let me try to convince you on this.
Okay, because I definitely have
Browns front four is very good at run stuffing. You still got do they still have Ogunjobi? Or is Ogunjobi on the Steelers now?
That's a great
I'm
question.
Look at this Browns. I'm gonna look at the Browns depth chart real quick, just to paint a vivid picture for us. All right. QB Deshaun Watson. Then we have running back Chubb, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, who I love, but you also got Donovan Peoples-Jones, Njoku, good offensive line, still got Conklin in there. Then we always have Myles Garrett leading that. Dalvin Tomlinson's the other guy I was thinking of. Jordan Elliott, and they got Zadarius Smith.
I thought they got him.
One.
Yeah, I thought they got him.
Got Zadarius Smith. Yep. Still have Denzel Ward on the back end. So it's still a very good team. Tough defense. We got a lot, and they do still have that's who it is. Okoronkwo, which is the other guy that I know isn't going to ring any bells, but I was getting him confused last year with Ogunjobi.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
That's why that was the issue that I was having. But he's another big run stuffing kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
So, we got, if we're looking at that, I just feel like they're good to play against the Titans, just kind of the way their defense stacks up. And, I just think their offense is going to be kind of a mismatch for the Titans too. I would say the Browns are an all-around good team, where I would say the Ravens would have a better offense and a little bit lesser of a defense.
Okay.
Right. So I'd give the Browns like a 6 for everything, and I'd give like the Ravens like an 8 for offense, but like a 4 for defense.
Okay, I see your point. I just think in general, when it comes to that game, that team, the defense, you are convincing me a little bit more with that. It's more so, can they stop Derrick Henry for 4 quarters? But I see your point, so I'm okay with conceding and giving the Browns the W over the Titans.
And the other part is, too, you said give the Derrick Henry, stop it for 4 quarters, but they got to stop Nick Chubb. Both these teams, the Browns and the Titans, want to do the same exact thing.
True.
They want to slow this game out. They want to run this football, and they want to control the clock. So I just think the Browns will do that better.
Okay. Fair
49ers will give the Niners the W there.
Yep.
At Colts, Browns beat the Colts. Seahawks.
At Seattle.
I
think I give that to Seattle.
That's a rough one.
I think I give that to Seattle. like at Seattle, I'm always going to be a little bit more leaning that way normally.
All right. Seattle's got to get theirs some way or another. Now, it's going to be at the Browns' expense. I don't know. It's really going to be a hard game for me. I'll give them a loss, but I want to see what they get with maybe a W here. I just want to see if it sways anything.
Okay.
Cardinals W.
Broncos.
Press the button. There it is. Okay. All right. I didn't want to. I don't want to overstep any boundaries.
I got you.
I wanted to give you the lead there.
Respect that.
Yeah. They're beating the hell out of the Broncos. I mean, they win in that game. I think they're beating the Rams. I would say they're beating the Rams
with a healthy Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford.
Everything depends. Everything's all relative. I don't think the Rams will be a pushover, but where do we draw the line at the Rams? And I'm not drawing it at the Browns. I'll tell you that. I'm drawing it behind the Browns.
It's tough because you think about it, the last time this team was fully healthy, they won a Super Bowl. Granted, they lost some pieces.
Are the Rams beating the Steelers?
Are the Rams beating the Steelers? Healthy?
Because I would say the Rams beat the Steelers.
I can see the Rams beat the Steelers. If they're
Rams
healthy.
don't beat the Browns, though. For me, the Rams don't beat the Browns.
I don't know. Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp. I can see just Cooper Kupp cooking the Browns.
It's a good defense, though. It's a very good defense. I think you got, again, Zadarius Smith-Miles. That wins you. That wins you flat out, like games against weak O-lines. I mean, it's a great front four.
All right, put it for the Browns. Let's see how this pans out.
I'm Wing the Jags. What do we say about the Bears? Bears was an L. Texans W. Maybe we need to reevaluate some of this. But let's just say where we're leaning right now. I said 3-3. You said 2-4.
Mm-hmm.
We have win over the Titans, win over the Colts, Cardinals, Broncos, Rams, Jags, Bears, Texans. This is getting a little out of hand here.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's my first glance. But I did say I think the Browns are going to be second in the division.
You did. This does make sense for you.
My first glance, I have them 11-6. You would have them 10-7. My first glances. Now, again, what can we look back on? All right, well, maybe they don't beat the Titans, okay? But they're going to beat the Colts. They're going to beat the Cardinals. They're going to beat the Broncos. I mean, the Jags, am I underselling the Jags this year too?
I think you might be underselling the Jags and the Rams, I think.
The Jags, I feel like last year were really just like lightning in a bottle type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like they really, first of all, they shouldn't have beat the Chargers. But whatever the hell happened. And they really shouldn't have even represented that division. It was just that the Titans just ended up just shitting the bed.
Injuries and couldn't do anything, man.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have anything. So I don't anticipate Jags winning the division. So I don't anticipate them being a real factor. Now, Trevor Lawrence, he got a little better as the year went on. ETN, he's good.
And hey, not to go
but the way that I would lean, if I was to lean anything, Bengals at 13 wins, Browns at 11 wins, and Ravens at 10 wins. That's really where I would lean, and I would take the over on the Browns 9.5.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch. I'm not gonna touch the over under on this one just in general. But even with the 10-7,
have the Browns more at 9 wins, right?
I probably have them closer to 9 wins. But we also do have to remember, I'm also counting out the Browns pretty heavily. And Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson. If he plays remotely close to what he did in Houston, the Browns are definitely a lot better team. You know what I mean? So it's tough. So I can understand why you think they're going 11-6, but I also can see them going between 8 to 10 wins.
Deshaun Watson, they used to call the Michael Jordan of football, is all I'm saying. But before all the all the hearsay and all the stuff that happened, they were saying that he was the guy, and we were putting him on lists, right? We were putting him above Mahomes.
You put Deshaun.
That's really where we were putting him.
And the Browns are paying him $240 million, or $224 and everything like that. You don't do that unless you think he can lead you to the championship.
We got to throw out last year. You got to throw it out. I think looking at last year, you're coming in week 11, week 12, or whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
You look bad, but he is not gonna. The same thing with Russ. I feel like even though with Russ, it's a little more telling because he had an entire year of looking like dog shit. You know what I mean? On a good team, and he had time with the team. And you can blame your coach all you want, but you're over there doing push-ups in the aisle and shit on the plane.
Deep lunges.
Kind of an ass clown.
Deep lunges.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, it's weird. So with Russ, and I don't think we're counting out Russ yet. I still think I see tier lists with Daniel Jones over Russ. Stop that shit. Don't give me that. All right, but I'm not gonna I'll put Deshaun Watson. People are putting Justin Fields over him. Stop that shit. No. Deshaun Watson to me is still a top 7. I'll still take him over Dak. give me Deshaun over Dak right now.
I
mean,
can't wait for Deshaun Watson to shit the bed, and then you
if he
hear
comes
that.
out and he fucking sucks, congratulations, clip me. Yeah, he fucking sucks, all right? But, like, if I'm betting money, that I'm going to see 70% of the player that I used to see on a hapless Texans offense. And I'm telling you, with Elijah Moore, who's I'm taking Elijah Moore in fantasy leagues. I like him as an option. He's taking Jarvis Landry's role. Amari Cooper's still that guy. Nick Chubb is one of my favorite backs in the NFL. I don't know. I'm still here. Offensive line's good. You got Conklin, you got Wills. It's really just I would put the Browns as second in the division still.
Are you just a secret Brown fan? That's what this really starting to sound like.
You're
You're not a Jets fan.
I hate
the biggest.
You know what
con.
I hated? Think about it. When you can talk about this all you want. When the Browns had Baker Mayfield, I talked every last ounce of shit against them. The second Baker left, I said, "Give me the Browns all day."
You did.
That's all I hated.
That is true.
I always wanted to like the Browns, but I couldn't because of Baker. So this is all just like bottled up.
So you're just letting it all out now. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm rooting Browns.
All right.
Let's get into these Steelers right now. So I'm at 11-6. You're closer to 9-8 on them.
Yeah.
Let's see where we are with these Steelers. Steelers, first game against the Niners, L.
That's an
I'll
L.
give them a W against these Raiders,
Okay.
W against the Texans. Now, we said it was an L against the Rams.
I would go L against the Rams. I also have the Browns really potentially losing to the Rams, so yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, you do. Jags. What do you lean here? Because I'll tell you what I lean, but
I'll lean L.
Yeah, I lean L here too. Titans, I'm leaning L.
Go L. I go win I go win the next three.
Yep. W Packers, W Cardinals against the Pats. Now, yes. Now, watch this too. By the way, the Steelers, Bengals got to play the Bills, Ravens got to play the Finns, Browns got to play the Jets. The Steelers get to play the Pats. I think the Pats are the worst team, but do I think Bills' defense is going to make Small Hands Pickett look like garbage? I think that could be enough.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I can hear that. I can hear that because you can never count out the Patriots. I can hear them, that being an L for the Steelers. Because at the end of the day, I see them beating the Colts, and then I think it's a toss-up against Seattle the rest of the way.
Yeah, I would say W against the Colts. I would say it lost to Seattle.
I'm leaning more towards loss for sure.
Let's put a W on the Pats. Let's just put that there. But let's highlight that game too. I mean, this is an important game.
Oh, I'm smiling, dude, because I already did the count in my head. Oh my god, bro, you can't make this up. According to me, with me having them going, with myself having them go in the division 3-3. They have, what's that, 9?
Yeah, well, I have them at 8 and 9 then.
I have 9 wins, so I have it 9 and 8.
You have them at 9 and 8. Yeah, I mean, I could, I'd be I already said I think they're going to be at least 2-3 games back from the division, which is where I have them. I have them 2 games behind the Ravens. Which I would also, that Patriots game is up in the air for me. The rest of them I'd feel confident about. You have them at 9 and 8. You have the Browns at 9 and 8. Are you taking the Browns over the Steelers in division? That's the question.
I'm taking Browns over the Steelers in the division.
Yeah.
I don't think I am.
So you would go Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns.
I would go. Well, no. Well, it depends. So, yes, if that was the case, if they have roughly the same record of what that, but say if it's a tiebreaker, or if I'm just looking at right here, Browns and Steelers, the way the records are right now, the way my division would go would be Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers, because right now I have the Browns 10 and 7.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I would have Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Steelers. So given what we're doing, we're both taking the over on the Bengals win total, 10.5. We're beating that by 3 games. Ravens, we are comfortably passing and not betting that. You would not bet the Browns because you're right at your cusp. I should take the Browns over. And the Steelers at 8.5. You're at 9-8.
I ain't touching it.
I would comfortably take the under on the Steelers, I think, because I think the Patriots could squeak that one out. So I truly think the Steelers' ceiling is 8-9. Like, I would say that's their ceiling. But
I can never bet on them. I can never bet against Tomlin going under 500. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's rough. You got him beating the allegations, and he's over here 9-8. So if anybody's saying that he's gonna go not 500 for a year, you got his back, is what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, I'm excited. We got another divisional matchup here. Another episode under getting close to the end of the books here. This is fun. I'm excited for next episode. We're going to be hanging out and taking care of another, we got another 2 divisions, getting a little bit closer to our fantasy drafts. So we'll start talking about some draft strategies and in the divisional breakdown, getting ready for that. And just one day closer to one day closer to the season. I can't wait that we're almost there. What do you got? Any closing remarks?
Nope. We'll see you Wednesday with the NFC AFC West.
All right, everyone. See you on Wednesday.